Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Bamisaye Victor. Today I want to talk to you about something that I've noticed amongst Nigerians, and it's a very interesting characteristic. And you see, this is what they do, right? They are very good at criticizing. Oh, Nigerians can drag you. They will drag you. They call it dragging. They are going to drag you like I better pass my neighbor generator. But somehow, the average Nigerian only reserves this dragging for the politicians. Only the people in government get this criticism. They are the only ones who get this stick. But there are some other set of people who have immunity to the average Nigerian. Now, not all Nigerians, because there are some Nigerians who, when they catch this set of people, they are also going to drag them like a spoiled generator. But the average Nigerian will drag the politician but give immunity to the clergy, to the pastor, to the GO, to the bishop, and to the alpha. Well, I like to restrict myself to what I know, so I wouldn't be talking so much about Islam because I don't know so much about their practices. But bring it back home to Christianity. Nigerians can drag anybody except that man of God. You see, as though they themselves are men of devil. They say there's a man of God and we are men of devil. At least was an opposite. So let us secure this man of God because he is special. Well, long story short, they will prevent, they will avoid, they will in fact come to the defense of anybody who dares to criticize their so-called men of God. In fact, not just only criticize you back, they are even going to place curses on you. They are going to curse you, curse your family, even give you the day you are going to die. I have been on the receiving end of that, and lately there's a doctor in the UK, Dr. I.D. Charles. She criticized one of the most celebrated clergies in Christendom for his take on the coronavirus. And if you see how his minions came out, these guys cannot be criticized. They just cannot be criticized. Well, if it was Buhari she criticized, or maybe Atiku, you see scores of people joining in criticizing that said politician. Well, let's come from a biblical perspective. Do you know that even according to the scripture, there's only, of these two, there's only one that the Bible instructs you to submit to? Now, in the olden days, in the days of Judaism, there was the king, there was a prophet, and there was a priest. The priest needed to take your message to God. The prophet needed to bring God's message to you. And the king needed to rule over your affairs. But you see, in the advent of Christ, and when Christ came, he died and the curtain was torn from top to bottom, so giving you a direct access to God, which meant that the office, that the performance of the priest is no longer necessary. Maybe sometimes it could be needed, but not necessary. And that of the priest, bringing word from God to you, is also not compulsory, because you now have a direct access to God, and you are co-heirs with Christ. That's exactly what it says. So it means that the idea of that average Nigerian that is here, then that man of God is like an assistant God, and then there is God. The hierarchy is God, assistant God in terms of these pledges, and then they themselves. That's the hierarchy for them. But that hierarchy is false. It's not true. You and that clergy, you are here. You are on the same level, because everybody is supposed to be sons of God. What that means is that the scripture says you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a peculiar nation, right? I hope I hope I quote it correctly, but you get my drift. So when it talks about that, it did not say it's your pastor, it says you. For all of you who read and believe it, you are the chosen generation, you are the royal priesthood. So what has happened is that we've moved from that hierarchy of priest, prophet, and king into what we now know as the priesthood of all believers, which means that there is nobody more special than you. You are a priest to yourself. And so those idea of men of God and they are on some pedestal, it's nonsense. Now, honor men. I believe in honoring men because they are men, not because of their titles. What it therefore means is that these guys, they preach, the pastor, maybe they are doing a good job, maybe they are not, but the idea is that they are not infallible, and there are times they are going to make mistakes. And so when they make mistakes, they have to be criticized on the basis of that mistake. They have to be criticized. They have to be criticized. In love, you may say, but anyways, we must say that they are wrong. But the average Nigerian Christian does not want to do that. But you know, the person who wants to criticize the politician and the government official. But you know what the scripture says? First Peter says, submit yourself for the Lord's sake to every human authority, whether to emperor as the supreme authority or to governors who are sent by him to punish those who do wrong and commend those who do right. Now you can read that to 17 and you get a bigger scope, but you see that Peter recommends that you submit to government. The submission was not, nobody says you should submit yourself to the GO, no, but to government. In fact, they are the ones who you should not be criticizing. They are the ones who you should submit to. If they say go this way, you have to go. You don't criticize them. I mean, if you have to follow word for word. Of course, I know that we run democracy, and that in democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, where everyone is also equal, and then you can have your say. That's beautiful. But how come this can work in politics, but cannot work in what you call Christendom or Christianity or in the church? It's all nonsense. I was trying to avoid to saying that, but well, it is what it is. It is nonsense. Peter and Paul will sometimes have their disagreements, but let's see what does Paul say about this himself. Paul says, let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. It means that your bishop, that your president, that your governor that you are criticizing, anything that will make you not be able to criticize your bishop, you lack the right to criticize the politician. Because according to scripture, you are to submit to them. They make decisions, your own is to obey. Of course, I also understand the implication that this was being addressed to the time when Paul was living. Of course, he was writing a letter to the Romans, and there was a basis upon which he was saying this. I do understand that, but I'm saying, since that's how you read the Bible, let us read it like that too. And then you will realize that when you criticize the politician, but spare your so-called men of God, you are either an hypocrite or you simply do not know. So you are either ignorant or you are an hypocrite. I do not want to believe that for your case. So here's the deal. I'm saying that everyone should be held to account, both the politician and the preacher. But if in case you want to spare any one of them, trust me, on the basis of what the Bible recommends, it is not the preacher. In fact, the Bible says judgment will start in the house of the Lord, in the church. So the case is now, without further ado, let us hold everyone to account, and it should not matter what their position is. Certainly not because somebody is a clergy, that makes him immune from criticism. We all are not infallible, and we all should not be above correction. Even I submit myself to scrutiny.